Ladies and gentlemen, as the Kids Cure Cancer car makes its way down the front, I ask you to please remove your head covers. Show your salute to Caleb. One final time, a salute to you, Caleb. Rest in peace, buddy, from Rapid Speedway. At this time, we are going to head trackside with Sean Neistat and Laura Mulder.
All right, thank you, Joel. First, we want to talk to Jacob because you were the driver who volunteered to let Caleb live out his dream and get behind the wheel of your car. We've talked about this before, but let's talk about it again. Why in the world would somebody give up their race car that they worked so hard on and let somebody else get in behind the wheel?
Because I saw it was his big lifelong dream, and I figured that he needed to live life out his fullest, and he wanted to become a race car driver, and I want to make that dream come true.
And you did make that dream come true. What was that day like? You're at Oskaloosa, Iowa. It's 8 o'clock in the morning. He gets in the race car next to you. You have no control. You're sitting in the passenger seat. What was it like?
Well, at first I was like, this could be a very big experience. But once we get out on the track, he kept his line. He did everything right. And we had a couple spin outs, but that was all really major that happened.
What do you tell yourself now when you come to the racetrack, knowing that we've lost him, but I think you've probably gained your biggest fan you may ever have in your career?
All I think about is Caleb sitting in the passenger seat, and also Olivia, the car's name. She was a kid diagnosed with cancer, and I wanted to build a car for her, and I believe them two are sitting in her right now while I'm racing.
Well, I want to point something out to the folks here. You've got a window net here on the passenger side. I think you've got passengers with you.
I believe I do.
Now let's talk about you before we wrap this up with you. Tell me your story. How old are you when you're behind the wheel of this race car?
I am 12 years old.
And you selflessly gave up your race car to help somebody else. There are a lot of adults that could learn a lot from your maturity at the age of 12.
Well, it's just something I like to do.
Good luck tonight.
Thank you.
And he has a little bit he'd like to read here for us tonight.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jacob Foster with Team KWC, Kids with Cancer Racing. I am the driver of the 46-7 race car. 46-7 stands for the 46 kids diagnosed with cancer every day, and the 7 that lose their battle every day in the United States alone. 1 month ago today, Team KWC put a big smile on a cancer warrior's face. That cancer warrior was Caleb Hammond. He had a racing blood like you would never believe. One night, someone tagged me in a post on social media, and it was about 11-year-old asking for racing stickers. I showed my dad the post, and I said that we could do that. I started looking into Caleb's story, and then I found out that his dream was to drive and race a race car. I asked my dad if we can make his dream come true. My dad said that most events take 3 months of planning. I said to him, never say can't, because he always told me to never say that. He told me he would try his best. After phone call after phone call, we were going down to Oskaloosa, Iowa, to make Caleb's dream come true. But that is not all. A lot of racers started saying that they would come. Then sooner than later, we found out our very own Laura and Darlo Mulder were going to make the big trip down. Laura would be by our side while we're racing. Darla would be the head tech person, because Caleb loved watching race car drivers argue with the tech officials.
That never happens.
Then we got a call from Scotty D. Young, a weekly racer at the Rapid Speedway. Then that him and Ryan were going to make the trip down because they were going to go broadcast on Advantage Racing TV for free, so people at home can see Caleb win his heat, hot, and future races. Another weekly racer at the Rapid Speedway, Chad Koikerker, the drive of the 88 car in the hobby stock class. When Caleb arrived, he had no idea that he was going to drive a race car, but his family did. When he was told that he was going to drive and race the 46-7 hobby stock, his smile is one that I'll never be able to forget. My second C is in Olivia. We are buckled up and ready to go in honor of Caleb Hammond.
Thank you.
Thank you.
One of those who got to witness that day was Laura, and I think of the two, you're probably more of the talker than Darlo. So let's get your account of that day, Laura.
First off, I'm going to apologize to any English teachers are up there. I'm sorry. I just wrote this. I'm not a writer. I just wanted to account for the day that we spent with Caleb. It wasn't even a day, it was a few hours. And it's a few hours that'll stay with all of us that were there forever. So here's my take on the day. This is the day I met a walking angel, the moment of impact. Impact, usually not a good term around the racing world. There it generally means there'll be long hours spent in the shop doing repairs. Who could have imagined the impact of a seemingly simple request? That's how it all began, a simple request for stickers. Caleb Hammond was a tremendous impact on the racing community across the nation, transcending every form of motor racing that there is. My husband Darlo and I were blessed with the privilege of meeting Caleb through one of our local hobby stock racers, Jacob Foster, whose sole purpose of his car is to promote kids with cancer awareness. Jacob's dad, Jared, along with Jacob, were the driving force behind organizing this incredible event for Caleb, a terminally ill child they had never met, who had dreamt to be a race car driver. So Jared and Jacob got busy and made it happen on 8/18/18 in Oskaloosa, Iowa. You see, Jacob, driver of the 467 USRA Hobby Stock, is all of 12 years old. Jacob is a young man with a very wise old soul and a huge heart. It was in Jacob's car that Caleb would fulfill his dream of being a race car driver, with Jacob by his side, riding shotgun in the second seat installed for this event. It was my assigned duty that day to see to Caleb's safety and comfort in the race car. And Darla was there to tech the car to give Caleb the full experience of a real night at the track. There were many impacts that day, and I would like to share a few. Our first impact was the number of race cars there at 7:30 a.m. on a Saturday. Cars from everywhere and every class. Tuners, sportsmen, hobbies, stock cars, B-mods, mods, late models, sprints, and even a couple of old-timers, many having never met Caleb. Our second impact was the grandstand. It was absolutely loaded with Caleb fans and supporters. Such a sight to see at 8 a.m. on a Saturday morning. They were buying Caleb t-shirts and showing their love and support. Again, many had never met Caleb. Our third impact, there was a huge crowd in the pits. They had race teams, fans, a motorcycle group, media, fire and rescue, and more fans. We also had the official pace truck from Knoxville Speedway and the official pace car from Iowa Speedway. It was at this point I remember Caleb showing up at the track. I noticed his eyes looking rather nervous. I watched those eyes get brighter and brighter as each step of the process of turning him into a race car driver happened. Our fourth impact, Caleb's family. Caleb's parents are divorced. Both are remarried, all standing side by side, strong and united for Caleb. As I was talking to the two moms, one said, "There are no step-parents here. We do bonus parents." I was overwhelmingly impressed. The fifth impact, the media coverage. Newspapers, TV stations, radio, internet racing video people. My girlfriend watched the event all happen live from Maryland. Someone told me they saw it on CNN, and many text to say they saw Caleb on their local news stations. Then Monday, before the NASCAR race at Indy, they had a moment of silence for Caleb during their opening ceremonies. The sixth impact, watching Jacob and Caleb interact, not as tough guy racers, but as two 11 and 12-year-old boys with the new coolest toy on the block kind of excitement. As I pulled up behind them with my four-wheeler to push them to the tech area, I could see them laughing and talking, and then a spontaneous fist bump happened, a precious memory for me. And seventh, the impact, for real. A solid impact with a turn one inside guardrail. Again, normally not a good thing for racers. However, that impact made it so when the race car was pushed back to victory lane, the driver's side, or Caleb's side, was facing the large crowd in the grandstand. The cheers from the crowd as Caleb approached victory lane were amazing. You can check out the in-car camera by Advantage Racing TV on YouTube. It's awesome. The eighth impact, the racers. They came from all over, so they could form rows and rows of four wide race cars to honor Caleb at the very end of the event. Then each driver signed a USRA official shirt that was given to Caleb. He also received an official USRA racing license from Todd and Janet Staley. As we approached the trailer where Caleb was after the event, there was a very long line formed. Inside, we found Caleb sitting in a chair, hooked up to an IV, and signing autographs. A truly impactful moment for us to see. The ninth impact, the impact on my what if thought process. What if we all treated each other the way we treated Caleb that day? We had never met him. We had no preconceived images, ideas, or attitudes, only to help someone, to be kind. What if we all tried to do a little better at that every day? Yes, we knew Caleb was terminally ill, and everyone went above and beyond for him. But the fact is, none of us know when the last day is for our families, our friends, our coworkers, or the person you see daily at your favorite coffee stop. Let's all practice being kinder to each other. Be the reason somebody feels joy in their heart or gets that sparkle in their eye. Be kind for Caleb. And 10th, the on my heart. My heart, as well as everyone's who was there that day, was deeply touched and changed for the better. All because a child, a little boy, a race fan, who simply asked, as any child would, for stickers. Stickers to put where no child should ever have the need to put stickers, on his own casket. I will never forget his eyes and how they danced when he put that helmet on, and his smile. Oh, that smile. My heart, I know, will never be the same. Caleb lives there now, safely tucked within, forever and ever. Bravest boy I was blessed to know. Victory came for Caleb on September 10, 2018 at 2 a.m. Our sweet little friend, Mr. Caleb, has gained his wings. Fly high, precious Caleb, fully restored, perfectly healthy, pain-free, and safe in the loving arms of Jesus.
Caleb was laid to rest after a few victory laps today at the Southern Iowa Speedway in Oskaloosa. Before we enter this evening's opening ceremonies and go back up top to Joel, please join us in a moment of silence for Caleb. Thank you. Joel?
Thank you, Sean. Ladies and gentlemen, while you stay at attention here with your hats removed, it is now time for our national anthem as we start tonight's opening ceremonies.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watch were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you to all these racers for their help here tonight in our festivities and our tribute to Caleb. Ladies and gentlemen, for the final time at Rapid Speedway this season, let's go racing!
Tonight, Joel, you know how we do this? We do this for Caleb tonight and all those other children who have gone far, far too soon. This is awesome! Let's wrap up the Rapid Nationals tonight at the Rapid Speedway.